All right, what's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Move this over here. All right. So we got some action going on right now. Shout out to all the 4 and 3 seeds. Yeah, we got crazy action, man. Insane. John with the $10 super chat. Thanks for the Liberty shout outs. Bet on them and won some money. Had ECU to upset Tennessee. Always got to give back to the GOAT of college baseball. Thank you, my man. Thank you for the $10. Come on, St. John's. Yeah, we got some crazy games going on. I'm about to pull up a few. Let me get up the I got to get up immediately. Got to get up the squeeze play. Squeeze play is so clutch, man. Said last night that UCLA some frauds. They had a tough game, man. I still think UCLA is good. They do have a good team, but they definitely did not play well. Good evening from Section 106. Is it delayed, Canes? To me, the regional round of collabs baseball is better than the opening weekend of March Madness. I agree. Tom's UFSU told you FSU wasn't making it out of their regional. Well, St. John's 6, yeah. Yeah, crazy, man. Tennessee's offense is really struggling, dude. And they pitched off, right? Buck, I have 25 seats behind home plate. If you want to join me, bring your son and Michael. Buckle up, still a lot more games. Heard Atlanta Regional is canceled until tomorrow. Sure, GT hates that. Yeah, I mean, it's you'd want that game to be played tonight, but it's been pouring. Like, I was out to eat with my in-laws, and it's been pouring. So again, it's like there's nothing I could do. I can introduce you to our big boosters and to JD and Laz. Nice. Tennessee should have won, buddy. Yeah, I mean, I was paying attention to the game. That was a battle of a game. I didn't see all the plays, though, like as it got really late. So explain, Tennessee, what was happening. 305 will cash be exchanged? I brought my monitor with me. I was watching 8 games on it. It was incredible. Will I give tickets to recruits for free? No. I gave tickets to our pitching commit from Chicago for the Louisville Regional last year. Saved him $100. That was nice. Devin Travis has got to be in a tailspin right now. What do you think? What do you guys think about this new logo for my college baseball episodes? You guys like? You don't like? It's funny. You know what's funny is my wife, I was talking about how some of the upset, we were talking about the tournament, and she was like, because, she's not like a mass, she likes watching Georgia Tech, but like, that's it. And because she went to Georgia Tech, she's an alum. And she was like, are there as many upsets in the NCAA tournament as there is in like March Madness? And I was like, it kind of depends. It's different because it's not single elimination. But there are a decent amount of upsets. Then today, it was like I was showing her on the Diamond Sports Baseball app. For those of you guys who don't know, this app is sick. I was showing her. I was like, look at all these upsets. Devin Travis is trying to protect. Devin Travis is trying. Looks official. Thank you. That was Grok, by the way. So perfect. AI is getting better than humans already. Devin Travis is trying to pretend to be independent. Yeah, I mean, listen, it would be tough. Kyle's getting fancy. Like it. Thanks, Zach. We actually went to a good steakhouse here last night, Mark's Steakhouse and Seafood. It was great. If you come on a visit to UF Buck, tell them to bring you here. Oh, nice. Mark's Steakhouse. I've been to Gainesville well, I mean, I've played in Gainesville at the old stadium, not the new one. What do you think of the stadium, Canes? Like, what's your take on it? Because obviously it's nice, but I've heard some people don't like it as much. You like it as well, Canes? Thanks. I know you're talking about the logo. It confused me. Thought it was another stream. I know, but I feel like when I need to have something for like these type streams, because like we're not really talking like we're talking just more college baseball in general than like recruiting or something like that. It's still raining, but the field isn't flooded anymore. So it's pouring out there. Are you guys gonna play tonight? It's a nice stadium. I really like it. Yeah, I mean, I've heard really good things. I haven't been to the new one, but I have heard some people are like, I think they could have like done some things differently with how much money they spent. But first thing I noticed, the logo. What do you think, Barks? You like it? I'm testing it. I think I like it. That was Grok. That took Grok like 4 minutes. I'm not kidding. I put like a picture of myself. And I said, make this into a, with this title, and then make it into like a YouTube, like podcast type logo. And then I just said, make it sleek and professional. And then it suggested to a prompt like use current like podcast trends, podcast art trends. And I did that. And then it like spit out like 6 that looked really good. It's a huge stadium, though. It's nicer than Southern Miss, but it should be similar size to Southern Miss. Yeah, it's a pitcher's park, right? This is like an MLB ballpark, but not the size of one, in my opinion. Yeah, solid. Thank you, Barks. All right, so Florida State leadoff hitter on. I'm gonna go close my door real quick. Georgia Tech looks like the best team by far. They certainly played unbelievable. Really a good thing for Georgia Tech too is, and I was like unsure about this at the time when they did it. Now, knowing what I know now, I did not know that there's no run rules in the tournament, which I guess makes sense. I should have known that, but I'm just so used to the game being played. Tarleton State's beating Santa Barbara. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I'm just so used to the run rules being in all season. And so I'm thinking once Georgia Tech got out to that like 15-2 or whatever it was, I'm thinking, all right, Carson Ballard, like this is a big coaching strategy here, right? You need to get this right. You got a massive lead. I'm thinking the run rule is in effect. So with the run rule in effect, I'm thinking, all right, Carson Ballard, 7 innings, use no arms. And just, we're calling fastballs down the middle. Like my Dusty Isaac said this in the text. I think we both thought the run rule was in effect. It's like just fastballs down the middle. Like let them hit it. We don't care about giving up runs. We're not going to lose. We don't care about giving up hits. Like we just need to have low pitch count so Ballard can finish the game. Now with there being no run rule, they actually took him out in like the 4th inning or 5th inning. I can't remember which inning exactly it was, but he had a pretty low pitch count. And it actually, now that I think about that, knowing that there was no run rule, that is probably the best thing to do. Because now, if you do have to play on Monday, if I'd have to check the pitch count, but realistically, he could pitch. If this is, he could pitch on Monday. So you actually have an arm that you could bring in. You could potentially start and say, you're going to go 3 innings. If you need it, right? So I actually like that strategy a lot. You need to be on ESPN doing coverage. Thank you, Barks. I would love to do that, man. I don't know how you try out for that, you know? I think I would do good though. But I appreciate you saying that. The rain has stopped. Nice. It was still raining at my house, which I'm north of Atlanta by like, it takes me with no traffic about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get to Georgia Tech. And wow, all right, Florida State's still threatening. But so like if it's raining at my house, it may not be raining at Georgia Tech. So maybe the rain's gone through. I don't know yet. Oh my gosh, no bunt defense for UCLA. Tarleton State with 2 outs. Runners on second and third. Push bunt, runners on first and third. Safety squeeze, 2 out safety squeeze. It was a base hit bunt, like safety squeeze. And UCLA just not ready for it. Pitcher doesn't get off the mound. Perfect bunt. First baseman has to take it. And Tarleton State's up 7-3? Oh my gosh. Double play for St. John's. Double play for St. John's. No mercy for UIC. Yeah, no mercy at all. You gotta. The thing is this: it's so important to save pitching in the regional, and especially like game 1. Like Tennessee, East Carolina, they just destroyed each other today because they're pitching like 15 innings, and so you got to just keep pounding runs so that we can, like Georgia Tech, the relievers they threw. They basically threw 4 guys that do not pitch. Right? So, like, they really didn't throw anybody. I bet they are going to be pissed off and play better next game. Give me 1 second, guys. I got to check on something. Keep the chat room live. right, we're back. We're back. Sorry about that, guys. My wife was wondering where the dog was. He always comes down here with me for a while, and then he usually heads back up. But I may have to take him out to go to the bathroom in like an hour. But anyway, we're back. Okay. So let me see here. Check DM. Thank you for that. DM Diamond. Diamond giving me live updates. The rain has started again. Canes, have they said anything to you guys yet? I bet they're going to be pissed off and play better next game. Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, it's just like Georgia Tech. I mean, they've done that. They've done that to ACC teams this year. It's like, it's just the offense is so elite. There's like, your pitcher has to be elite to shut them down, typically. Like, that's the thing. A bunch of St. John's players are from our travel team. Yeah, from where you guys are, Buck, yeah. And St. John's is a really good program. They're always good. I remember when I'm gonna forget his name. Second baseman. Oh, Joe Panic. I remember playing them my freshman year. It was one of the first series of my career at Georgia Tech, and Joe Panic was the shortstop. And everyone was like, "This guy's a first rounder. He's supposed to be really good." And he was the truth, man. He could play. He was a good defender. He was really good left-handed bat. Or I think he might even been was he a switch hitter? Anyway, I remember he was like really good that weekend, and he ended up hitting like 400 or something like that. Squeeze play should be a national holiday. Really should be. 100%. Squeeze play is amazing. Can you think of like on Friday? Why don't they do that? Why don't they do this on Friday nights in college baseball, man? I would tune into it. Like you don't have to do every single game, but you do like, the big games. You got like maybe you got 7 or 8 games you pick for the slate and you're just covering all of them. NC State and UCF have 5 runs in the first. 20 minutes till ASU beats Ole Miss. Nice. Nothing yet. I'm guessing 11 p.m. start time. Dude, 11 p.m. start time. That'll be brutal. Is that what Xavier had for 3 games? I'm pulling up the Diamond Baseball Sports app right now. Diamond, is there a way you can attach my profile on the app to it too? So I can start building my presence in your app? Dude, I'm not kidding. If you guys haven't got Diamond Baseball app, it is so good. It's amazing how many things are in there. And like it's really cool. Like it's like a community as well. Like that's the thing that's interesting about it, is it's not just a scores app. Like you have your own profile. You can, it's like a community. Is that what Xavier had for 3 games? Like I said, like generally speaking. Love college baseball after dark. Let's go Canes. Yeah, for real. 11 p.m. is going to be crazy, dude. 11 p.m. start is also insane. I'm going to text my source at Georgia Tech and see what the deal is there. Let's text the source. Okay, source texted. DBB is sick. Yes, 100%. It is the sickest. Okay, so right now the situations we have, Alabama is up to 9-2 on Alabama State, right? They got that pretty safely in hand. NC State is up 3-2 over UCF, top of the second. So a lot of offense already. Top of the second, and NC State's leadoff guy is already back up. Missouri State was beating Arkansas. Arkansas fired back. It's now 8-3 Arkansas. And that's like if you're a Georgia Tech fan, that's a regional you're paying attention to, because that's who Georgia Tech is matched up with. So, this you're paying attention to the Kansas regional, because that's going to be Georgia Tech's opponent if they win a super, if they win the regional. You see the UNLV hire? I don't think I did today, actually, to be honest. I'm looking it up right now. I didn't see Adam. Let me see. Let's see if I can find it. UNLV baseball. Nick Garitano. From CSN. That's an interesting hire. I think that's a good hire for UNLV. And the reason I say that is he's going to be really well connected in the Nevada area. Obviously, the Las Vegas baseball scene is massive. I mean, a ton of great baseball players have come out of there, and so I think that's a really good hire. And he's going to have the JUCO connections in the region. Like, I think that's a good hire. How much has LeBron hurt his draft stats with this season? Can he redeem himself in the tourney? I don't think so, man. Like, this is the thing, Buck. If you're evaluating LeBron in not an old school way, but more of an old school way, like you haven't seen a track record of performance in the SEC. Now the tool set is out of this world, right? I mean, power, speed, athleticism. He's got everything. But if you can't hit, you're not going to play in today's game. And so the bigger that question mark gets, and I think it is really big in a lot of evaluators' eyes, it just prevents him. I could see him going. I think he's still going to go in the first round. I think he may go late in the first round, just because you feel like, man, if we hit on this guy, he's a superstar, right? The likelihood of that I think that happens, probably low. Wiley Bowden enjoyer. Why I have been right about UCLA for over a month. Please show me respect. True. Jack State, baby. Yep. North Carolina dominating VCU. Come on, JD, take care of business. We're going to have playoff baseball at home. I told you, Omaha, Omaha. Don't worry, Canes. That doesn't help the U. Adam, texted a friend pretty high up in the athletic department, and it was the easiest hire they could make to just be good enough. Quote was something like, it's baseball. They don't make any money, so nobody cares. Yeah, but I mean, listen, like, who are you going to get at UNLV, though? Like, that's my thing. I mean, I understand the sentiment, and it's true. You know, they don't make any money, and it's, you know, you in this era of college athletics, like you got to spend money. If you're having to spend some NIL and everything like that, you're going to spend it on, you know, the sports that actually make money. But I think it's an interesting, solid hire. And the reason I say that, again, is because to have success at UNLV, you're going to have to win on really good players in Vegas, which is tough. So he's got a reputation there. He's known there. But also, you're going to have to do what Dan Fitzgerald's done at Kansas, in my opinion, is you're going to have to do really good evaluating the junior college ranks. And he's obviously going to be able to do that. Okay, so Cal Poly is up 2-1 on Virginia Tech. They are threatening in the bottom of the second. First and third, no outs. This is a big at bat, right? This ball has to be put in play with the run coming in. And the reason I say that is because, you know, you strike out here, now you're a ground ball away, if you're Cal Poly, from getting out of this inning. So you got to fight here, find a way to put in, even if you ground into a double play, at least the game is tied. Great at bat, it takes the walk. So now you got bases loaded. Again, now if you're a hitter for Virginia Tech, I got to hit this ball in the air, right? I got to hit it, and you know, higher than a line drive. Like, this is a perfect at bat where I'm trying to hit a fly ball, and if I crush a deep fly ball for a double, love that, home run, whatever. But if I fly out, at least the game is tied, and now the rest of the guys behind me can try to drive in some more runs. How does that not help me? UNC with a solid win, yeah. And again, I mean, UNC's pitching staff, I think. Listen, UNC's feeling really good right now, because if you're UNC, that game between East Carolina and Tennessee is exactly what you wanted. A tight game, extra innings. And both these teams are playing for win number one at this point, right? If you're going into the extra innings, you got to win game one to feel like you have any chance of winning the regional. So you go 15 innings, you're using some big arms, and you lose. And even if you win, you're like, all right, we won. And I think if you're UNC, you wanted East Carolina to win. Like you didn't want to face Tegan Coons in Tennessee. So like UNC, best possible result for them for day one. UNC, you can almost check mark UNC to win the regional, I think, in my opinion. After that, ECU had to use their top relievers. Yeah. So ECU's burned everybody. Tennessee's going to have to burn Tegan Coons now. And Tennessee used a lot of good arms. So both teams are depleted. Still crazy UCLA is in the losers bracket. Unbelievable. No pitching left. Yeah, ECU's cooked. I think they probably have some, but certainly, tomorrow they're going to have to use some, and then all of a sudden, and then they're in trouble, right? That's the issue. And you talk about UNC not having to use anybody. They have one of the best bullpens in the country. Georgia Tech is walking to Omaha. I'm not going to say that yet. I'm not going to. Certainly, they played as good a baseball as they could have played today. They used no pitching. Even their starter was pulled early and could come back late if needed. Okay, so LeBron tells me to F off. You won't believe it. LeBron just hit a home run. Yeah, he must have heard us talking about him, man. UCLA is the biggest fake of the BB Core era. I don't know if I'd say that, man. Are you talking about this year's UCLA team? I don't think they are, man. And so what just happened in the Virginia Tech game, by the way, is exactly what I said, right? They get bases loaded. Your job, a run has to score here. A run has to score. We can't strike out. We got to drive a ball to the outfield to get them in. They're not able to get a run in. Next batter, double play. Cal Poly gets out of a bases loaded jam with giving up no runs. Off versus an Alabama State reliever, though. Spent the month of May walking off Sacramento States of the world. 100, very true. And that's what I tweeted out, right? I tweeted out like UCLA's looking for some late game magic. That was a bomb. LeBron heard y'all talking about him. That was a bomb. Looks like Alabama to Omaha. Alabama versus Coastal in the Supers. Shoot, man. Yeah, could be. Right? Nebraska is going to host a home super regional to go to Omaha. Imagine Nebraska in the College World Series. Yeah, that would be insane if Nebraska makes it. Chris Button talking about grounding on squeeze play. Nice. All right, so Oregon's up 3-0 on Yale. Arkansas has that Missouri State game kind of in hand as of now on the 7th. Cincinnati and Louisiana are tied 1-1. Lodi's at UCF with the bomb to dead center to tie the game against NC State. So we got a great game brewing with UCF and NC State. A lot of offense here in the first inning. UCSB screwed up not pitching Flora. Yeah, I mean, dude, I get the strat. I mean, listen, I think that was their best strategy. So I'm hearing that they're going to try to play the game tonight at Georgia Tech. So if the weather is able to hold off long enough, and Georgia Tech has the best grounds crew in the world, in my opinion, so they'll get it done. Another Lodi's, yes. Another Lodi's. I can't remember. I think it's a cousin or something, or I don't know if it's like the little brother or something. It's the little brother of one of them, because they're cousins, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see if he's somewhere else next year. Yale, we can't be getting picked off second. Yeah, that's unforgivable. How about this? I mean, Tarleton State is in the top of the 8th. They are 6 outs away from beating Santa Barbara. Also, USC isn't pitching Mason Edwards against Texas State. Yeah, I know. I saw that. Yeah, no, Diamond Baseball. Diamond had the 64 Analytics tweet. Whoever gave you, they said Oklahoma Citadel isn't playing tonight. Man, my guy's lying to me then. He's messing with me. Oklahoma announced they're playing tomorrow at 10 a.m. Well, thank you for the correction, guys. I'm embarrassed now. And so they're going to play at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Yeah, that's going to be interesting how they do that. Citadel, Oklahoma are playing at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So then will they play? That's a crazy. I don't know how the formatting is going to work. Yeah, they already announced Atlanta game tomorrow a.m. Hey guys, can you guys stop rubbing it in now? I heard it the first time. At least you have a good logo. Thanks, Zach. You are good. F that source for lying. It's I think he was messing with me. It's Soma. What's up, Soma? If you're the Soma that I think it is. It's 10, 2, and 6. Man, that's a brutal slate for the teams having to play back-to-back. So Tarleton State gets into scoring position with 2 outs with the hustle double. Kyle asking the left field gopher. Of course, there is a weather delay for ASU Ole Miss. Man, dude, the weather in the Southeast, man. Is there bad weather all over the country? Yes, it is. Haha. What's up, my man? What's up, Soma? Yeah, that's a brutal slate that really screws over the teams that have to play back-to-back tomorrow. Because they're going to have to burn everybody. ASU not going to like that humidity. Yo boy Wilson, Auburn. Yeah, hey. I mean, I think that's the biggest surprise of the day. I turned on Squeeze Play because I had just been watching the Georgia Tech game, and then it got kind of out of hand early. And so I turned on Squeeze Play, and I see that Milwaukee was up like 4-0 on Auburn, and then an inning later, it was like 10-0. Just insane. And Auburn didn't pitch off. They pitched to Marciano. And I mean, they just could not keep Milwaukee down, man. Rain has started again. I think Arkansas may be the only team that can challenge Georgia Tech before Omaha. They won't be scared. Agree. 100% agree. Like Arkansas is that's the team you do not want to face in the Super. Of all the possible teams, Arkansas is the team you don't want to face. And that's not saying anything against Kansas. I think Kansas is a really solid team, and obviously they've played really well. But if you're, again, like to beat this Georgia Tech team, you have to silence the offense, and I just think Arkansas has that capability. You know, they play in hostile environments. They're not going to be scared at all. Do you think Auburn wins the regional? I think Auburn has the pitching to win it. Right? They have the best pitching staff in the country. They have the depth to win it. But again, now they got to play perfect now. And they're when you lose game one as a host, I think your chances go down to like 20-something%. So it's not like a 1 in 10 or a 1 in 8 chance. I mean, you're still at like a 1 quarter chance. But with their pitching staff, they can do it. There's a lot of teams that are hosts that you lose game one, it gets a lot more difficult. Let's cheer on St. Mary's for showing how UCLA isn't that team. I think UCLA is a really good team. Like they are. Their offense has been sketchy as of late, which we saw today. But I just think they did have a bad game. Like they just could not score runs. I think UCLA has the pitching to still win that regional, but it's going to be an uphill battle. I'm not going to lie. Arkansas is as overrated as UCLA. Well, Arkansas went, 17-13 in the SEC. They probably should have been a host over Mississippi State. They didn't get it. So, again, that's the number 1-2 seed in the field. And a team that probably should have been a host. So, they're not overrated. They barely scrapped by. Sign me up for a West Virginia Cal Poly Super Regional. Yeah, that would be crazy. And sign me up for a USC Upstate St. John's Super Regional. Yeah, can you imagine? Arkansas is not overrated. They are legit. Yeah, they're legit, man. The LI Catholic League New York State Finals are at St. John's Field next weekend. Would they get bumped for a St. John's host? Dude, they'd have to get bumped. Okay, Yale threatening a little bit here in the top of the third with 2 outs, runners on first and second. St. John's wouldn't host a super. Yeah, they don't they don't have a big enough facility. So it would depend on who they're playing. That's exactly why you pitched Flora over the other bum that started today. Yeah, certainly it hasn't paid off for them, Ben. I do think, again, you have to remember, like, your goal is to win a regional, and if your best way to win a regional is to go 2-0, which it is, you go 2-0, your chances of winning the regional are like astronomically high. And so if you're going to win 2 with Texas in your regional, you got to pitch Flora against Texas. So as much as it's like, oh, why did they pitch off? And I understand that sentiment. Don't get me wrong. Like UCSB in particular, there's some power fours, like they don't need to pitch off because they got really good arms, and they got maybe not a very strong regional. But as a mid-major, you really typically do, outside of Southern Miss and Coastal Carolina, you really do not have the depth to go into the loser's bracket and win the regional. Doesn't mean it's not possible, But I think they had to pitch. They definitely had to throw Florida game 2 against Texas if they won game 1, like, for their best chance to win. That's exactly why, or unless they somehow played Alabama State. Yeah, true. I would go, Bucky says. Difficult to follow right now. Too many red teams playing black uni teams. It really is, man. I was thinking the exact same thing. It's like everyone's red. It really is. I mean, even Oregon's got the black uniform. Louisiana is gray with red. NC State is gray with red. Cincinnati's wearing a black uniform. UCF's wearing a black uniform. Like you're like, what game am I watching again? Did you see how bad that Ryder reliever was? He looked like a high school pitcher. Bro, can you imagine if Florida lost a Ryder? I literally I was like, oh my gosh, they are 3 outs away from beating Florida. Tarleton State with bases loaded tried to steal home. I've never been so sick in my life watching Ryder lose that. Yeah, it's that was a tough loss, man. That was a tough loss. And to be honest, it would have been the 2 and the 3 seed were watching that thinking, all right, go deep into the game, go deep in extras. So they were wishing that ended a little bit later. I looked up that Ryder pitcher who was throwing 87. His PG profile was not impressive, was 84 out of high school. Wow. College baseball really is the most competitive sport. Florida played like midweek Florida, not SEC weekend Florida, 100%. So many upsets and close call upsets, yes. That's the second attempted steal of home today. Yeah, I mean, 2 outs, bases loaded. Let your guy hit, man. Come on. You know, runner on third, 2 outs. Oh my gosh, Missouri State. Missouri State makes it 8-5 with runners on second and third, one at the top of the 8th. Missouri State fighting back. Man, Kansas is like, make Arkansas use their arms. Make Arkansas use their arms. And NC State still tied at 3. Runners on second and third, 2 outs for NC State. 2-2 count. Arkansas fans are out in force in Lawrence, by the way. It's like a home game for Arkansas. I guess it is our Kansas, which makes sense. They won't rush against Miami if we win. True. Missouri State coming back, yep. But at least Florida used their best bullpen arms. Yeah, but if it's, I mean, one inning stints. It's one, though. It's one, right? Liberty and Jack State both should have been 2 seeds. I agreed 100%. I don't understand. Like, Jacksonville State for sure should have been a 2 seed. Liberty, I guess you could make the argument they could be a 3 seed. Is Jack State a sleeper team to go deep? Yeah. I mean, that was one of the teams I picked. And Liberty was actually one of them as well, because Liberty can really pitch. Now, they did throw their ace today against Boston College and did really well. So he won't be able to pitch the rest of the regional. I do think I do think Georgia is going to win that regional. I just don't know if there's a team that's got deep enough pitching to beat them that many games. Can you explain how Virginia Tech was a 2 seed? Man, I don't even know how they do it, dude. Again, I don't. I think Virginia Tech. I think there was some recency bias there with how well they played the second half of conference play. So I think that maybe had something to do with it. Last 2 seed, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess they are the last 2 seed. They went to UCLA, so they were right on the cusp. Field crews coming out to take the tarp off. Ooh, Canes, you guys are going to play. Love some late-night Miami baseball. Man, Virginia Tech's really, really... Dusty Isaacs, are we live? Yes, we're live, man. We're live, dude. What do you mean, are we live? You're commenting on the video. Can Missouri State come back? 0-2 count, runners on second and third, 2 outs. Cincinnati and Louisiana are tied 1-1 in the fourth. Donde está Dusty? Well, here he is. We'll see how long he stays tonight. And Arkansas gets out of the jam, but Missouri did come back with 2 runs, so it's 8-5 now, going to the bottom of the 8th. Boys, how are we? Sorry I have been absent lately. A lot of personal stuff been happening. Yeah. It's all good, man. As long as you show dedication now. And UCF's going to take the lead. This is going to be a back-and-forth game, man. Tarp is coming off. Nice. Canes. Miami game will be played tonight, hopefully. What game are we watching? I have squeeze play up. So I'm watching – they have NC State and UCF up. They have Texas State, USC, which just started. Cal Poly and Virginia Tech. And Tarleton State, who's up 7-4 on Santa Barbara right now in the bottom of the 8th. Santa Barbara is getting beat by Tarleton State. Dusty Isaacs 0. Squeeze play. Yeah. Squeeze play. How about Texas State? Friday guy, man. Tall, lefty, kind of slow 3/4 slot, 92. Okay. Leadoff walk for USC. Squeeze play is where? ESPN? Yes. ESPN. I have to go through like the Disney Plus Hulu ESPN thing. Another red versus black game. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. John with the $5 super chat. My ex-girlfriend went to Ole Miss, so this game is super personal tonight. What's your honest prediction for the game? Listen, dude, my honest prediction is this. Was it Hunter Elliott for Ole Miss. He's really good, really good. So I do think it's going to be a tight game. I think Ole Miss. I think most people would suspect Ole Miss to win just because they have him on the mound. But I think it's a really, really tight game. Am I a boomer? Can't find it. Just type in squeeze play, bro. Let's go, Johns. Dude, my feed keeps freezing. My squeeze play keeps freezing. Stop freezing, squeeze play. Seating should be done by uniform color. Yeah, wow, they really color coordinated the matchups here. Like even with Tarleton State and Santa Barbara, that's like Santa Barbara is wearing that like blue that kind of looks purple, and then Tarleton's wearing purple and white. They're both wearing white, so it's like every game is like a red team facing another team with a black uniform. It's really insane. ESPN Plus, Dusty. So if you have like Disney Plus, like with Hulu Plus or whatever, I think you can get them on there. You can get it on there. Wherever you watch like the Georgia Tech games, you just type it in there. He's texting me now. He is a boomer now. He is 100% a boomer. Santa Barbara does have the tying run at the plate now here in the bottom of the eighth. Arkansas has their first leadoff runner on in the bottom of the eighth. Yale has a runner on first against Oregon with one out. USC first inning has runners on first and second, one out. Sold my house, boys. I am so back. Dusty's got the weight of the world's off his shoulders now. Dusty, what do you think of the new logo for this show? Did you sell your ESPN subscription too? Dude, I don't know what to tell him, man. I thought it was, I just went wherever I watch all the Georgia Tech or the baseball games, whether it's Georgia Tech or someone else. I just went there, I typed in squeeze, and it was the first thing that popped up. At least we don't have to see Oregon State and Omaha this year. Yeah, I mean, probably not, right? And dude, we were going over the D1 baseball staff picks, and I think Jack DeLongchamps picked Oregon State. And I'm just like, dude, you must not pay attention to college baseball very much. I don't know how anyone can pick Oregon State in that regional. And we've talked about it till I'm blue in the head, but like Oregon State really they don't play anybody. They don't have their Friday starter, who is the best pitcher player on their team by far, and their offense is not good against weak competition. So their pitching numbers are skewed better than they are. Their hitting numbers should be skewed better, but they're still bad. And their Friday night guy, who's like the best pitcher in the country, is injured. You're going to pick them to win the regional? Very green, yeah. Okay, found squeeze play. Criminally don't have it easily accessible or whatever. Yeah, easily accessible. Like you type in the search bar squeeze and it comes up. At Bucky, take it easy on me. I'm a fragile man. I am 20% of what I was even 6 months ago. That's soft right there. But I am back, baby. Dusty, what do you think of the logo? Can you answer or? $110 buy on plate for all 7 games. Steal? That is a steal. 0, so that means you can't even give us an inning tonight? What logo? Look in the top left corner. The top left corner is literally right there. Look right there. Do you think that's pretty cool? The new logo is amazing, bro. Thank you, John. I appreciate that hype, man. Makes me want to watch the stream more. Oh, thank you, man. I think it looks pretty official. I think it's pretty cool. Dusty's probably going to tear it apart. Knowing Dusty, he's probably going to say something on the stream and then text me. Arizona State Ole Miss starting in 13 minutes. I think Kyle should be green. I can always give an inning. How do you think I got to AAA? My availability was my best ability. Yeah, hey, can Isaacs go for the 5th day in a row? Yep, you got it, Skip. You got it. As he pulls the stim machine nodes off of his elbow and unwraps the towel that's around his elbow hot, puts a bunch of icy hot and red hot on his elbow. Isn't Road to Omaha trademarked? Shoot, I don't know, dude. I'll have to change it if that's the case. Can you trademark a phrase, though? Maybe Road to Omaha is, but the Road to Omaha? Let me see. We can just Google this right now. I'm about to get taken down. It is a registered trademark. Thanks, Buck. I'm gonna have to change that. If we lose, I'm in some debt. But if we win, I'll super chat. Just kidding about the debt. What should I change the title then to from the Road to Omaha? ESPN lawyers calling now. Yeah, you've got 11 people watching this right now from YouTube. You owe us this amount. What should I change it to from the Road to Omaha? Tarleton with a solo shot to make it 8-4. Cincinnati up 4-1. I know the boys at, where is it? The Head First podcast. I bet they're going crazy right now. How about the Rambling Wreck to Omaha? Well, that just is too branded to Georgia Tech. ESPN lawyers calling now. Text Skylar Mead. Tell him my live viewer sees him talking to JD. Oh, okay. I'll text him right now. Let's see here. You mean like that guy right there? Yeah. I'll text him. Corn maze to Omaha, not corn maze. The path to Omaha? The path to Omaha? Do I have to make it say the path to Omaha? The route to Omaha? We should be playing in the next 45 to 50 minutes. The extremely flat, bumpy road to Omaha. Yeah, I gotta change that now. Dang it. Why is everything so difficult? Kyle's take on Omaha. Really? Grok didn't respect trademark rules? I guess not. I guess not, man. I didn't even get a warning, you know? All right, for now, we got it. We got it. All right, now we got it. We got it fixed here. We're gonna do this live. Almost done, guys. For now, we're just doing the path to Omaha. Okay. Really Grok didn't respect trademarks. Omaha, a small, hot, boring city that wakes up for 2 weeks per year. Hey, I played in Omaha in indie ball, man. USC dropping balls. Yeah, I dude. Omageddon. Oh, Omageddon. That's an interesting one. Diamond Talk with Kyle. Yeah, that's going to be this official show name on the Diamond Baseball app once it blows up. It already is kind of blowing up, to be honest, but I knew that with this show, if you want to call that, being on the Diamond app, I knew I had to update like the logo because with it Elite Sports Advising on there, like they wouldn't it doesn't make sense with what's being talked about, right? When you see this, oh, they're talking college baseball, they're talking the postseason, they're talking college baseball in general. So So it's like, oh, that's something that sounds interesting, right? So I'm gonna actually do some analytics work on how this performs even post stream with people clicking on it to watch everything like that. You realize every team in this tournament but one loses their last game? Yes. Every team. That's right. 100%. What? We're not talking recruiting tonight? No, we can. And we always do talk recruiting in some ways. But I feel like this logo makes it to where a lot of what's going to be discussed is college baseball just generally, how teams are performing, players, everything like that. That also includes recruiting. Really important for Texas State here to get at least one run across, right? You have to make USC pay. You have to make USC pay for the error. And if you don't, right, this could be a big shift in the game momentum wise, where you make a misplay and then the team scores 2 or 3 runs. You're like, oh my gosh, we just gave them 3 runs, right? That's a morale drain. And if USC makes this error, they're in a tough situation, they get out without giving up any runs, or even just 1 run, they're gonna be like, you know what, that could have been a lot worse. So you kind of, to deliver a momentum blow here, Texas State needs to score 2 runs or more. So base hit does that. Missouri State down to their last out against Arkansas. So it looks like we will see a matchup of Kansas and Arkansas. Cal Poly has bases loaded with 2 outs, up 4-1 on Virginia Tech. Jacksonville State up 10-5 on Virginia. This Southern Miss regional is insane, bro. Southern Miss goes down to what? Little Rock, Arkansas Little Rock. And Jacksonville State looks like they're going to beat Virginia. And Chris Pollard was just ejected from the Jacksonville State-Virginia game. And I knew it was going to happen when I saw the umpire basically tell him, like, all right, get back in the dugout. I knew it. You can't take the umpire saying that to you. And listen, I like this play by Pollard because you're down by 5. It's top 7. You have runners on first and second, no outs. So you're now in the most important inning of the game. Now he goes out there, gets tossed, fires his team up. His team's fired up right now. All right, I am back. Had to fake sleep until Haley was asleep. That's it. The silo to Omaha. Don't silo me, Kyle. We are terrible. Tennessee, you're not terrible. Certainly the offense has been an issue this year. Still hitting a lot of home runs, but just the on-base percentage has been rough. There's just not a lot of guys taking free passes. And that's really limited their run production. Damn it, I almost picked Jack State from this regional. Should have, man. Right, so like Virginia has to get out of this inning without giving up any runs if they have any chance of winning. Oh no, NC State might have just hit a nope, deepest part of the park. NC State almost hit a grand slam to take the lead, but they're still down 5-3. Dusty, don't use your wife's name in vain. Haley already asleep at 9:30? And Julie goes to sleep early. I don't think she's asleep yet. A lot of rain in Tallahassee, yeah. It's raining all over the southeast, man. It's must be a big storm. It's been in Georgia for the last 2 weeks. We went a stretch of like a month where it didn't rain. I'm not kidding. It was 3 or 4 weeks of literally zero rain at all. And now we have, for the last week and what looks like for the next 4 or 5 days, we basically have gotten 2 weeks straight of rain. And when I mean rain, I mean like heavy rain, like thunderstorms, heavy rain. So it's been a crazy month in Georgia, like literally sunny, hot, no clouds in the sky for like a month. And now it's been like rain. Rain has been brutal in Georgia for 10 days. Yeah. It was depressing as hell. Yeah. It's not just like a little bit of rain. It's like raining all day type rain. Or like it rains for an hour and then it's sunny for an hour. Then it rains for an hour again. Cincinnati separating. Yeah. 7-1 now. The Head First podcast boys are feeling good. The tarp is off. All right, Canes. We're going to have Canes baseball coming up soon. Landon Hairston leads Ole Miss. Bobby Miranda on the call in Hattiesburg, man. I love listening to Bobby. I think he does a really good job of like explaining the game to people, and like his red zone analogy with the runner on third, I really like. You know, you got a runner on second, he's at the 50. Runner at third, he's in the red zone. And Jacksonville State gets the run in. 11-5. Swinging bunt. Perfectly executed swinging bunt by Jacksonville State. Bobby Moe's hated on for no reason. Yeah, is he hated on, really? I mean, I'd much rather listen to Bobby Moe than I'm trying to think of the other ACC analysts that I think are better. Besides me and Dusty, I don't know if there's any out there. Come on, Gabby spews nonsense all game. Oh, people hate him, man. They do? All right, see y'all later. Game's on. See you, John. They walked first and they scared. Well, they were ahead of him. They weren't like trying to walk him. They were ahead of him. They walked Hairston. They scared. I think he does a great job. Come on, Gabby spews nonsense all game. Yeah, I think he does a great job too. I like listening to Bobby Moe. He's good to do games with too. When we did the triple box, The Orchid Man has arrived. I am sitting over here waiting on my moment when they invite me to a regional call. Yeah, I mean, how do you get that, man? It seems like I saw some of the people that get those, and you're like, Gabby, I think is good. No, I don't think I don't think Gabby's the worst. I think Gabby does a decent job. Did Jacksonville State just go deep? Double, double for sure. Jacksonville State is now up 13-5 on Virginia. Don't forget your helping verbs. But yeah, I don't know how the regional calls work because I saw guys. There was a couple guys on there that I don't even think call that many games, and they were like the play by, or they were the analyst. So yeah, I mean, I would love to do that. Gabby is one tick above Devin Travis. Literally no analysis. What do you think a regional liner game pays? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's got to be something good, right? It's got to be better than. It's got to be pretty good. It is just one game, but yeah, I would be interested to see what they pay. Gabby's one tick above Devin Travis. Literally no analysis. I kind of agree there, Buck. That's my issue with both of them. I don't get any analysis of the game. All I get is like, saw the change up, let it get there, hit it on the barrel. And it's like, yeah, but like, talk me through how that happens. Talk me through the approach that is needed to put that swing on a changeup or put that swing on a fastball away with 2 strikes, right? I want to know how that happens. I don't want to know. I saw what happened. I saw that it was a changeup. I saw that he sat back. I saw that he hit it on the barrel. I don't need to be told that. I need to be told, okay, what was he thinking? What was his approach in the box that allowed him to do that? Arizona State, base hit. First runner's reach for Arizona State. Those guys do the John Madden, all flash, but at least he was good at it. Color guy needs to predict and tell what should happen in the situation. Yeah, it's like, okay, all right, this situation, they need to be in, your corner infielders are pinching the line. Your outfielders are probably in no doubles, and they're shifted to the opposite field side so that both gaps are taken out. And really, the only the pull side down the line is what you're giving up. And I just never hear that. Elliott is nervous. Another base hit. Another base hit for Arizona State. And that's going to be a run. Oh, Arizona State. Oh, my gosh. What are you doing? Good throw by the Becerra in right field. Smart throw, too. Knows he didn't really charge this ball hard at all. If you watch this, he does not come and get it. He slows down big time, has no momentum. I don't know how you get thrown out that bad, though. That's a big base running mistake for Arizona State. Like that did making the first out of third, man. Yeah. Sorry, I'm chilling now. Wiley remains the best. Yeah, I'm not kidding, dude. In terms of like play-by-play guys, I think Andy Demetra is really good. I love doing games with Andy. I think he's in that like really, really elite category in terms of like college baseball. Although he doesn't do college baseball as much because he's like the voice of the Jackets now, so he does all the sports. But he's really good. And then Wiley obviously is elite, man. He's so good too. and that's why he's doing stuff with the Braves now, right? Because he's really, and he's got the voice too. I think both him and Andy Demetra, they're both really good at what they do, but they both have the voice too. Wiley is forever great. Yes, agreed. You'll see our big donor on TV sitting with me behind home plate in blue and green. Okay. Oh my gosh, man. Arizona State gets a double down the line and crushed the ball. It goes off the third baseman's glove. Arizona State offense showed up today, guys. 4 hits. And think about what Arizona State would have been if they'd be up 2-0 right now if they hadn't made that base running mistake at getting thrown out of third. Cincinnati up 9-1 on Louisiana now. We are cooking. 305, does he have the bags of cash with him? That's in the car, Buck. That's in the car. Always does. And you see the Arizona State offensive numbers on the screen, top 10 nationally in a lot of categories. So they can really swing it. And right now, I mean, if you're Arizona State, what you need, you got to get one of these runs in. 1 out. This ball has to be hit on the ground up the middle or in the air deep enough to score a guy. You cannot strike out here. Can't take a fastball middle and down and in for strike 2. Right? This is a situation where as a hitter, when you get to 0-1, if I get a strike, I got to try to put this in play because I don't want to fall back into I don't want to get into a count where now I have to swing at anything close. That's even maybe not a strike to try to get the run in. Man, close, and it almost strikes out looking there. That was a really, really close pitch. What's going on today? Look at those mid-majors, UCLA and UV. Yeah. JD, man. Upsets all over the place today. Jacksonville State's killing Virginia, as I'm sure you're watching. Arizona State working the count back to a 2-2. The Cincinnati game is getting out of hand. It's 9-1 now in the bottom of the 5th. Arizona State can cash in a couple more runs here. They're feeling really good. Nice, great job. Great play by the shortstop for Ole Miss. Great play, but great job getting that ball in play and getting the run in. Really good play by Pano. Sun Devils, that must be their strength coach. That dude was jacked. Holy cow. Ole Miss shortstop looks like he hurt his back on that play. Absolutely, and drowning in my beer, but not surprised. Yeah, I think Virginia hasn't been playing well, really the whole second half of the conference schedule. And so if they play like first half Virginia, you'd think, okay, they can win this regional. But it just looks like second half of Virginia is still the team that's playing. Can Arizona State find a way to get one more in? No, but listen, I think if you told Willie Bloomquist, you're up 2-0 in the top of the first against Hunter Elliott. You're feeling great about that result. Texas State is up on USC. They only got the one run. USC is threatening in the bottom of the second, but now it's first and second with 2 outs. And what we talked about with USC is that their issue is they do not score runs and they do not beat elite teams, and not even elite teams. They're 1-11 against top 20 against RPI Q1s, which I believe is top 25 in RPI. So they haven't really beaten a good team consistently. They're 1-11. They've done it one time, and they struggle to score runs. They can really pitch. So the question for USC is always, are they going to be able to score enough runs? And then USC makes the third out at third, man. I actually had Jax to win the regional. You're a realist. You're a realist, dude. You're a realist. Man, UCF offense is just not giving up right now. I mean, they're having chances to score every inning. Leadoff batter reaches with a single. And now, this is the thing about how important this game is for NC State and UCF. Auburn lost game 1. So if you can win this game, you're in prime position to go 2-0 to start the regional. You're going to be facing Milwaukee, right? So if you're NC State or UCF, you are doing everything you can to win this game. You're doing everything you can. You're down by 2 runs. You're still going to bring in good bullpen arms in the hope that you can come back. About some of the upsets today, guys like Kane Sweeney, Upstate, and Steve Beezer, Jack State, and players on their teams expect to win these games. 100%. 100%. And Upstate, Upstate was really close to getting to a super regional last year. Jacksonville State has been elite all year. So these are it's tough to call Jacksonville State winning an Upstate or beating a Virginia an upset. It's tough to see the USC Upstate win as an upset. Those are really evenly matched games. But we just think of them as upsets because, in terms of the seeding, it's an upset. But also we see mid-major and we assume, this is always going to be an upset. And oh my gosh, UCF just unloaded. Oh my goodness. Andrew Williamson, that was a nuke. Holy cow. Danny Burke, you have arrived. Rostock, what do you know about him? Some of the huge programs that lost today have hyperbaric chambers, float tanks, protein shake stations, and massage chairs, etc. at their facilities. But at the end of the day, it's about having dudes. You're not wrong about that, Burke. 100%. At some of these schools, they're so white collar in everything that they do that not that they forget, but it's tough to remember that it's just about being a dog, And I hate saying that as a yellow jacket, but you guys know what that means. It's like you want it better, you want it worse than the other guy. You want it more than the other guy. A lot of false Americans out there. Yes. We play at 10:15. Yeah, it just came on Squeeze Play. Tough day for ACC. Yeah, Boston College goes down, Florida State goes down, Wake Forest goes down, Virginia looks like it's going to go down. Tough day for the ACC, 100%. 100%. One of the things I wanted to talk about today, I actually just remembered, was the Kentucky Wake Forest game. And how did Wake Forest lose the game? In Was it extra innings? Was it the 10th or 11th? I can't remember how many innings it. Let me check in my Diamond Baseball Sports app. Let's see here. How many innings did it go? It was top 9. Okay. Top 9. So how they lost it was Wake Forest catcher, runner on third, 2 outs. He's in the one knee stance, slider in the dirt, literally right in front of him. Instead of going down to block it, he tries to pick it and misses it. Kentucky scores in Wake Forest's, or in Kentucky scores, and then they end up winning. Like things like that, and you have the robots out there that are like, it's just as easy to block in one knee stance, and it's like these guys forget that there's nobody on base. They're in their one knee stance, and they just try to pick a ball with the runner on third in a tie game. Soma in the chat. Yeah, he is, Dust. After some messaging, sounds like Isaacs might be on the call for a super regional. Big news. They need Isaacs on the call. After some messaging, I don't know how would they won't just have the same guys doing the super regional that do the regionals. Wake Forest played a sloppy game today. Alabama up 21-3 on Alabama State. Wake Forest played a sloppy game today. They need a yes, they did. TCU looking for a new hitting coach. I mean, I'm not surprised, man. I mean, like TCU is not in a good spot right now. The 2 years in a row now of not making the tournament. At some point early in the year, they were ranked, I think, in the top 10, certainly in the top 15. And to not make the tournament when you're that highly ranked in the Big 12 is crazy. So no surprise there. Coastal up 1-0 on Northern Illinois. It is like steadily raining in Tallahassee. USC and Texas State are tied 1-1. Cal Poly is up 5-1 on Virginia Tech now, top of the 6th. And UCF is up 8-3. Couldn't imagine being the 6th best baseball program in Texas. I mean, seriously, think about all the teams in Texas that did make the tournament. TCU is not one of them. It's tough to imagine. NC State bullpen fire drill. Yeah, it is. Is Miami dead? TCU and Kyle, a great match. Is Miami dead? Dude, Miami's about to start. Nice area for you and family. Hey, I Fort Worth, that's where my wife's mom's family is all from the Fort Worth area. So I've been to Fort Worth a ton. Fort Worth's nice, man. I like Fort Worth. And some of her cousins played on the soccer team at Fort Worth, or one of them did. Are you going to be in Omaha? I don't know, man. I want to go. I got a couple little kids, and it's it it, it would be tough to do it. And again, maybe I can't. I'm not going to say I'm not going to go, but we'll have to work. We'll have to work the logistics of it. Shall we make another Miami bet? It's been fueling me. What's the bet, Dusty? Plus 200 Miami to Omaha? Plus 200? Bro, are you kidding me? Are you, dude? It's got to be like plus 1,000. What are you talking about? I played in Omaha, and last year in pro ball and independent ball, I played in Omaha. Well, in AAA, I played against the Omaha Storm Chasers, but they're like outside of the city, so you're not really like in Omaha, and you don't stay in Omaha. You stay outside of the city. So I've played in Omaha a ton. I've played at Omaha Storm Chasers a bunch. I told you, baby, we're going to Omaha. Over 1,000 Miami fans are here. We've invaded. Nice. Dusty, that is a laughable bet. The fact that you even put that, like, you put your name on that bet and put it in the chat is insane. That you think anybody would take that. Plus 200 to Miami. There's 64 teams in the field. Plus 200 to Miami maybe makes sense in a super regional, depending on the matchup, in a favorable matchup. Okay, then, at Kyle and at Canes, what's the bet to get to Omaha? I mean, let's just look at what the odds are right now. This is interesting. So according to AI on Google, Miami's baseball team currently sits at plus 500 odds to reach the College World Series in Omaha, giving them the 12th best odds in the country. That makes no sense to me. How does Miami have the 12th best odds? I don't know how that makes sense. That's crazy. Plus 500 seems like that does not seem like enough. Wouldn't mind my Venmo being heated back up. I mean, plus 200, yeah, that would really heat up your Venmo. I'll sell anyone a contract for Miami plus 500. Dude, Buck, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, that seems crazy to me. Plus 500? What? I'm going to type in Georgia Tech, and this is going to be funny, I think. So Georgia Tech to win the College World Series is plus 400 to plus 500. All right, let's do plus 500. I'm not doing plus 500. Who's above Miami in odds? I don't know. It said they were 12th best, and it didn't give me a list of the teams. GT has to be plus 200 to make Omaha. Yeah, if Miami's plus 500, Georgia Tech's probably plus 200, and Dusty offered plus 200 for Miami. What an insane what an insane bet that would be. You guys were so cocky back in June. Could we predict that Daniel Coupe was going to miss over a month of conference play? GT minus 300 to make it to Omaha? Is that the line? Or is that the odds? Offense is not Miami's problem. Yeah, agreed. Offense is not their problem. The problem is the bullpen and their defense. Right? Miami's got good starting pitching. They've got a good offense. They play really bad defense, and their bullpen is almost nothing. I mean, they have a very very shallow bullpen. Yes, to make Omaha. Okay, minus 300. Man, that's crazy too. Holy cow, those are crazy odds. But certainly after the game this morning, makes it kind of believable. Hairston just crushed the ball to left center, but got caught. Ole Miss up 2-1. Cincinnati's now winning 10-1 with runners on first and second, one out. Oregon's up 5-0 on Yale. And Texas State and USC are tied 1-1 in the third, with USC threatening. USC has threatened every inning. Kyle, at 1-1, how much would you bet Georgia Tech? How much would you bet Georgia Tech getting to Omaha? At 1-1? How much would I feel? Dude, I don't know, man. 1-1 is crazy at this point to bet on Omaha. Like those odds, like to me, like the minus 300, it's like that's just such a bad bet to take because like you're risking more money than you get paid out, you know. And I feel like when you're betting on something that has multiple steps, like you need to win your regional, win your super regional. I just think you have to have better than 1-1 odds to make a bet. And you may think that's not smart, but I feel like, you know, even Georgia Tech with how good they've been all year, 1-1 is kind of crazy to me. 3 minutes from game time, tune in. Oh, I'll be tuned in. I'm row 1 on the left side of home plate. I'm pulling it up right now. I'm gonna pull up squeeze play on one, and then the Miami game on the other. And USC is going to take the lead, 2-1. With J Rose, Southwest Eagles fan, Blue Street, our donors. Canes, you're just with like the dream team, man. GT might run into Xavier. DM'd me the current odds to win. Let me check. All right, let's see here. Let me read it now. Oh, okay, the current odds to be the College World Series champion. Miami's to be the College World Series champion. Miami's at plus 8,000. Georgia Tech's at plus 350. That means you get dollar to dollar. I know. I'm saying 1-to-1. I'm saying to make a bet on Omaha. I to make Omaha, I need better than 1-to-1. And I didn't say that minus 300 is better than or worse than one. It is worse than 1-to-1. Minus 300 means you're getting like $30 if you bet 100. So I bet 100. If I win, I get 100 and I get 30 on top of my 100 back. I know what it means. I'm saying I need better than 1-to-1 odds. Like I'm not going to bet any large amount of money on 1-to-1 odds. That means you get dollar to dollar. Yeah, I knew that. Why are some lefties not hitting good down and in pitches and better at hitting the ball away? It just depends on the swing path, man, and your swing plane. And, some lefties, it's kind of I think Dusty would call him a type A lefty who has that like ability to really go down and get underneath that ball down and in, which typically means if you handle that pitch well, like you have a higher vertical bat angle. And so you can go down, get underneath that. Guys with like a flatter swing plane, that's a tough pitch. So it depends on the type of lefty and the swing plane, their natural swing plane. Now, elite guys can do both of those things, right? They have an adjustable swing plane, but most hitters in the college game, they're going to have, a smaller range of variability in their swing. And so there's going to be some lefties that handle that pitch away better, and there's going to be guys that handle the down and in better. Oh my gosh, Coastal's trying to break this game open. Coastal up 3-0 in the bottom of the second with no outs and a runner on third. Coastal playing coastal ball. Yep. Yeah, just throwing that away, right? And look, they're looking to bunt to get this run in now. Front side, not hip. Yeah, I mean, so like there's just different. There's people that do. There are hitters that, generally speaking, are gonna. Everyone has hot zones and cold zones, and the reason for that is their swing mechanics. Typically, again, approach and everything plays into that as well. Today goes to show just how many good players and teams there are in college now. Yeah, the parity in college baseball has never been better. Teams are really, if you're able to utilize the portal well and find, especially at the mid-major level, you can find guys who maybe didn't play at a power 4, but like you think they're going to be good, and you hit on those. Like Justin Henry Malloy was a great one of those at Georgia Tech. Like he didn't really play at Vandy, came to Georgia Tech, raked, and then was in the big leagues like a year and a half later. Is Schnall to South Carolina guaranteed or what? So the two leading candidates, according to Kendall Rogers, are Kevin Schnall and West Virginia head coach Steve Sabins. Schnall has a base salary of $500K at Coastal Carolina, along with a lucrative incentive structure. South Carolina is not going to be able to get him for cheap, but from what I'm hearing, South Carolina is going to offer an Adams hearing like $2 to $2.5 million. So that's something that is being watched. Is the Gamecocks also showed serious interest in Georgia Tech head coach James Ramsey, but there was zero reason for him to leave Atlanta, and he recently signed a contract extension with the Yellow Jackets. Dan Fitzgerald from Kansas is another candidate to potentially watch, but multiple sources say Fitzgerald would be very difficult to pull away from Kansas. So there you go. Favorite team in the tournament outside of Georgia Tech? I would say Liberty, man. Like Liberty, and not to like favorite to win it, if that's what you mean. But I think they're a really underrated team that's had a great season, and I'm interested to see what they do against Georgia. And it's game time. His favorite team outside of GT is Arizona State. Yeah, that's one of them too. All right, Canes, I'm looking for you. Yo, what is this analyst for who's the analyst in Gainesville, guys? Tell me who it is. I don't know what that just was. Why can I not find the Miami game? I feel like Dusty now. Liberty? LMA. Dude, what do you mean? Liberty is good, dude. Liberty is good. Come on, Trojans, and not USC. What's wrong with Liberty, Dusty? Have you ever seen them play? Dusty, who's your favorite outside of Georgia Tech? Or we'll say it like this. All right, let's go with favorite to make it to Omaha besides Georgia Tech. I mean, I would say certainly UNC, even though they do have a gauntlet of a regional. I think it's played out perfectly for them. Night, fellas. Good luck, Canes. Dusty going to sleep at 10:20, bro. What is this? Arizona with a big home run to make it 3-1. Everyone can hear my clapping on TV. I'm leading the charge. My favorite, I think UNC, like, think about it like this. I think UNC, when you look at that regional, you're like, okay, this is going to be a very tough regional to win. But with how it played out, like 14, 15 innings, whatever it was with East Carolina and Tennessee, both teams having to use their arms, their bullpen to try to win that game. Now you don't have to face Tegan Coons of Tennessee. You're going to feel a lot better about facing East Carolina's guy than Tegan Coons. And so for UNC, they also didn't have to use any of their bullpen arms or their serious arms. So UNC is in prime position now to win this regional, and with that, I feel like UNC is a team that is very tough to beat in the series. So I like UNC now, especially with how day one played out. You have the most clap in Miami. Oh my gosh. Can you guys pull up the Miami game? It's not showing up for me in when I click on like college baseball games. Like I see there's a Troy Miami game, but it's like it says it's a replay. They need me in the dugout leading the two strike clapping. But can you imagine, guys, if they did this squeeze play like every Friday night in the season? I would watch it. I'd have it up, right? I think most of you guys here would have it up. I think pretty much everybody here would have it up. I don't know why they don't do that. Like, you don't have to do it all weekend, even though I would probably watch it all weekend. But like Friday night, you have your big like series of the weekend, but then you have like a squeeze play with like 7 or 8 more series that are going on, and you give a lot more visibility into the game. My pick, hate to say it, UGA, guaranteed. Florida, yeah. Even though Florida barely escaped against Ryder, had to hit a walk-off bomb, even though it was a tie game, solo shot. But yeah, I agree with you. I think UGA is very good. Their pitching is solid, but their offense is like Georgia Tech's. I mean, they're two very similar teams in the sense that Georgia Tech, in terms of pitching, has been very good, but there's no even like when Tate McKee has a really good game, he's a name you don't want to face. But this year he's had some up and down starts. So Georgia Tech doesn't have that like Jason DeCaro at UNC or the Wes Mendez at Florida State. They don't have that type of guy, which is fine. They have 3 really, really solid, really good starters. And I do think like Jackson Blakely maybe becomes that type of guy next year. But both teams' offenses are like unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Jacksonville State now up, was it 16-7? 91 off the bat was a home run. That exit velocity on the Jacksonville State home run was 91. I meant it more in the sense of rooting interest, but UGA does have a solid squad. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant is rooting interest. Like I'm rooting for Liberty, and the reason is because I've known their head coach for a long time, and when I did the Kennesaw State Liberty game earlier this year and got to see Ben Blair, I thought, man, this team's really good. They have an ace. Like if Liberty makes it to a super regional, they're a team that can make it to Omaha. It's going to be really tough to beat Georgia in the regional. Tate McKee has turned out to be a solid starter, reliable top 10 rounder, but he isn't a effing dog ass horse who can win you a game when you need it. Yeah, I think that's like the step he hasn't gotten to yet, right? Is he still does have some games where he's out in the fourth inning or the third inning. And then he has a game like he pitched against Boston College where you're like, that's what an ace in the ACC looks like. Is and again in the ACC tournament, we didn't get to see him as much because he went out with a blister. So I do think he has looked his best of his career of late. Um, and again, look at Florida State. Today Florida State pitched off with Wes Mendez, I believe, and then they lost. Bottom line, yeah. Root interest, I root for one team, Georgia Tech, yeah. Well, to make it to Omaha, right? Like you're not Georgia Tech. Liberty wouldn't impede. Now, if you're rooting for Georgia Tech, you can't root for any other team in their path to make it to Omaha. So either the Kansas regional or obviously another team in the Atlanta regional. Outside of Tech, yeah, no, Dusty's he's being Dusty right now. Soma fair, Missouri State. Yeah, that's a good one too. Missouri State, Deck McGuire, the pitching coach, former Georgia Tech great and big leaguer, and they're having a heck of a year. They did lose today in the regional. They have a quiet but dangerous squad too. Yeah, Northern Illinois has made this a 4-2 game. Teams from one bid as of 3 hours ago. Teams from one bid leagues went 6-5 to open the regionals. 6-5. Me and Griff will be at the Rusty Sea tomorrow. Nice. We need sleep for battle. I need to make it back soon. Oh, it's amazing, Soma. Like this year, it's been incredible. The fans, like the amount of fans at every game, and I'm not talking like the ACC games. I'm talking like midweeks against not big schools, like the Bowling Green series. The stadium was packed. Um, I mean, the fan support has been insane this year. And I think part of that is obviously you got a really good team. It makes it easy to go out and watch when your team is doing what Georgia Tech is doing. But I also think, generally speaking, it's like they've done a really good job of getting fans to the game now. And I don't think it was they always did a good job of that. I feel like there's really been a concerted effort to be like, let's do every promotional possible to get fans in the game. And Ole Miss just tied the game. Alabama's just like, can we get this game over with 21-3? USC still up 2-1 on Texas State. Ole Miss still threatening with runner on second, one out. And Ole Miss just went deep again. Two-run home run for Becerra. 21st home run of the year. Yale's made this a 6-2 game against Oregon. Still, 4-run lead for Oregon, but still, Yale's making it interesting. I'm leading this two-strike clap, baby. Wow, Ole Miss. Yeah, Ole Miss, what an answer. Arizona State, this is going to be a back-and-forth game, what looks like for Arizona State. I mean, Arizona State seeing Hunter Elliott well. I wouldn't be surprised if Ole Miss makes a pitching change here somewhat soon if Arizona State continues to threaten Hunter Elliott. And oh my, USC almost just went way gone. Rob Evans for Miami is it's the most subtle 95 from a lefty. Like his delivery is so low effort and it looks like he's throwing it 60 miles an hour and it just comes out right there. And there's Canes behind home plate, decked out in the Miami gear. And then the next pitch, he hits it. Instead of hitting it foul, he hits it fair. USC got it fair this time. Yeah. Hits it out foul with a nuke and then hits it out fair. There's been over 100 home runs hit today so far, with a ton of games just starting in the early innings. Here's a conspiracy for you guys. Do we think that the NCAA makes the ball, juices the balls even more NCAA tournament? They just said they already broke the highest record ever, and we still got a ton of games going on. Like, we still have a lot of games that are just starting. So this year on day one is going to be, they're going to break the record big time. They actually just said, they clarified that they've only kept stats on that since 2021. So, but this is basically the most offensive era in college baseball history outside of like the drop fives. So we can make a guess that it's probably close. Yale now, it's 6-2. Yale has runners on first and second, no outs. Turn that volume down on my phone. USC is continuing to threaten now. Runners on first and third with 2 outs. Big at bat here for Yale. They're not going to bunt with runners on first and second, no outs. They are down 4, so bunting in the 6th inning here just doesn't really make sense. 1-2 count now. And that's a strikeout for Oregon. Big strikeout for Oregon. Yo, what's up, Diamond? How's the stream? Great, man. Great, man. Everybody, I can't plug it enough. Go to the Diamond Sports app. You'll see me on the front page here. You can tune in on the Diamond Sports app. This app is sick. It's got unbelievable, like, details, data, stats. Like, it's really cool. I just opened some card packs that I think Diamond gave me for free. And I don't think I got very good cards, Diamond, so I think you got to give me more packs. I did get a really good reliever from the Georgetown Hoyas, Luke Jackman. But overall, I didn't get very good players. Goat, yeah. Hey, you know what? You know, you show respect where it's due, man. I'll send some coins right now. Thanks, dude. I'm cheating, man. I'm getting that streamer luck. Actually, I haven't had any streamer luck. I didn't get any crazy cards. Diamond, in the code, like guarantee me some like stud player, like a Von Lackey or something. All right, so Oregon, Yale is still threatening here. Just one out. First and second, 0-1 count. Coastal and Northern Illinois are 4-2. Bottom of the third, 2 outs. Coastal does have a runner on first. And Miami does have a runner on first with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Troy got a pretty good arm throwing for him. Lefty up to 94. Right? It's just like, you know, you start to realize why a lot of these mid-major teams are having a lot of success. Do a conference pack and do ACC. All right, let's see here. Oh, you could packs and stuff? That's crazy. Oh, the stream just dropped for a second. Is your username Kyle Wren? Yes. Yeah. Capital K, capital W. I don't want the stream like drop there for a second. Sent coins? Oh boy. Here we go. They haven't hit my stash yet. I'm gonna reload the app, see if I get it. Or you just send it to some random guy. Oh no, I'm loaded up now, baby. Holy cow. It says the ACC packs are locked. But I might just go with the Elite Conference pack. I'm just going to rip one of those. All right, boys, we're going to rip an Elite Conference pack here. Let me see what it says here. All right, we're going to pick ACC. So we pick ACC. Let's see who we get. Oh, we get number 1. We get Ethan Ball from Virginia Tech, 312 with 16 home runs. We get Dylan Loy from Georgia Tech. J.D. Stein from Wake Forest, Cooper Underwood from Georgia Tech, Jacob McGovern had no stats. I get Jack Raydell from Notre Dame, the Notre Dame ace, Luke D. Ancona, and I get Will Baker from Georgia Tech. Pretty cool, man. I'll open some more as we get deeper into the stream. Not bad. Yeah, not bad. I mean, Jack Raydell, he was one of the best pitchers really in the country this year. All right, bases loaded now for Yale. 0-2 count, 2 outs. Big situation in the game for Yale. Like if they can scratch a couple more across to the infield. Dude, people in Oregon are wearing jackets, bro. Are you kidding me? Four players today have hit 3 home runs in the NCAA tournament. 4 players have hit 3 home runs. So in 32 games so far, we've had a player hit 3 home runs 4 times. I will say Alex Hernandez came about 5 feet from hitting 4. His last one he hit was to the wall on right field. Can we talk about what happened to Marciano? Dude, I don't know what happened, man. It was Milwaukee was just all over him. I mean, when I saw it was 4-0, I was like, what is going on? And then I saw it was 10-0, and I'm like, this is insane. I mean, the Auburn regional is really looked at as one of the easier regionals, and Milwaukee was certainly one of the lowest RPI teams in the field. I was shocked when I saw it. I was too, because I was, I turned that on right before I turned the Georgia Tech game, and I hadn't really been paying attention to it. And I saw it was 4-0, and then I pulled up Squeeze Play, and it was just like, what is going on? How right did you feel when Oregon State happened? I mean, I felt 100% right. But it's just like, when you follow teams throughout the year and you understand why they're having success, even though their offense is really bad, it's just like that's not a team. Now with Dax Whitney, it's a different team, right? But like they only gave up 2 runs today. It's not like they gave up a ton of runs. Pitching staff did its job. Or sorry, they gave up 3 runs, but the offense could only score 2. So, do they win that game with Dax Whitney on the mound? Do they win like 2-1? Maybe. But it's just like their offense. You have to remember they play a terrible schedule in terms of difficulty, and their offensive numbers were still bad. So when you're facing tournament teams who are, on par or probably better, or honestly better than what they typically play. even when you're facing like a 3 seed. But certainly you face a 1 team, like Oregon State hasn't just played those teams. Troy threatening here in the top of the third, 2 on the second. Man, Rob Evans can pitch, man. I really like him. Man, it's such a shame because if Miami had just a decent bullpen and they played decent defense, they would have been a regional host this year. Rob Evans, I mean, the sequence he just did, he falls behind 1-0. He goes back foot sliders for a check swing, strike one. Then he goes changeup down and away for a swing and miss, strike two. And then he gets weak pop up to the infield. Like, the guy can really pitch. Oh, and he's got like 96, 97 in the tank. Disappointed we don't get Flora versus Volantis. Yeah, agreed. Derek, what does Ramsey teach his hitters? Is it a different philosophy, stress certain things mechanically, etc.? Ramsey's very, he is not cookie cutter at all. He identifies really the parts of the swing in each hitter that need the most improvement. And obviously he does that through a variety of tests. We did that when I was there, when I was coaching with him. And then you put the players into a group that all need to improve that one thing the most, right? There's like bat speed, there's ground force, there's direction, there's swing plane. And so he puts them in those groups and then do specific drills with a constraint and with a goal for the drill, right? I'm gonna put them in this weird constraint, and the goal is to hit line drives back top of the net. And then once they've shown through testing that they've improved that to a certain point, they move on to the next thing that needs to be improved. And so what you see with Georgia Tech's hitters year by year is that they all continue to improve. They all continue to get better. Von Lackey's a great example of that. Just look at his lines year by year by year. He's just got astronomically better. He got astronomically better from his freshman year to his sophomore year, and he's astronomically better from his sophomore year to his junior year. Look at Jaron Advincula. Look at Zuckerman. Look at Will Baker. Look at Parker Brocious. Look at Carson Curse. I mean, it's just up and down the lineup. Like, Drew Burris is the only one you would say, like, he's pretty much been the same. He's not hitting for as much power. But again, when you have the freshman year that Drew Burris has, it's like it's very hard to top that. Kyle's being humble. He taught Ramsey everything he knows. No, that's. I mean, I think certainly he learned a few things from me, and I learned a ton from him. I think we saw hitting development, and really, we saw hitters. I always told him like 90% the same. Like, in terms of development, what a player needed to work on, what his flaws were. We saw those things really 90% the same. The 10% we disagreed on was maybe, a certain adjustment to make with a guy. Like, I'm always big on with guys who are high bat to ball that have a swing plane issue, especially guys that are, let's say, high bat to ball and they have a steeper swing. I like putting those guys into a vertical bat starting position because it allows that bat to fall back, what you would call the slot, or, again, maybe that's old, maybe that's out of touch now, but it allows that bat path to be adjustable. And so their swing plane can be more adjustable. So that's like one example. But, again, like me and Ramsey, we saw things very similarly, but I think what he does so well is like the system that he's put in place is there's none better. There's none better. And I think that's definitively the case now. I think for most of his career coaching at Georgia Tech, he was known as one of the best hitting coaches in the country. But I think certainly after the last few years, I think you have to give him the nod as the top hitting coach in the country in terms of development. In terms of one thing he also does is he game plans very well for pitchers. He gives guys as much information as he thinks is necessary, but he's also like, if a guy comes up and asks him a certain thing, he's like, yeah, this is, he can answer that. And I think so it's that combination of development, but also game planning that makes his hitter groups have so much success. Because certainly development is one part of the equation, but setting yourself up for the approach, what's the game plan against this pitcher? Where are we trying to attack? Where are we trying to stay away from? Um, and what's our overall team strategy, right? Is our team strategy, hey, we don't want to make a lot of first pitch outs against this guy. We want to make him pitch. He struggles with command. Or this is a guy that throws a ton of strikes. Like, we get a good pitch early, we got to scare him out of the zone, right? The only way he's going to walk guys is if we scare him out of the zone, we put some barrels on the ball. So I think you put those two things together. That's why he's the best hitting coach in the country. All right, so Northern Illinois, Arizona State has made this a 6-4 game. Hunter Elliott throws a slider kind of right down the middle. Coastal's in trouble right now. They're up 4-3. In the top of the fourth, it's one out, runners on first and third. Hunter Elliott is already at 80 pitches. Top of the fifth. So he's doing pretty well. Ole Miss still in the lead, 6-4. Miami is now up 1-0 on Troy. Runner on first, one out. Miami would like to see a decent lead here. I think with the way Rob Evans is pitching, you feel pretty good about what he's going to do. But, get 3 or 4 runs here over the next couple innings, you're going to feel a lot better. Texas State has now tied the game against USC. Why is my squeeze play keeps freezing? What kind of constraints are you referring to? Hitting training tools? Constraints. So not restraints, constraints, meaning, if a guy has, for example, if a guy's really has too much pull direction in his swing, so his swing direction instead of through center field is more through right field, right? That means he's going to have a lot of trouble driving any pitch outer half of the plate, right? He's going to slice that thing. Ball's just going to slice. He's not going to be able to drive that backspin it. So you may put a guy like that in a really closed stance. So if I'm standing up, make sure my zipper's up. So I'm going to put my front leg forward like this. And then my job is to get line drives back middle of the net. Like, that's something we would do with guys who were a little too pull heavy in their swing direction. And so that constraint of closing them off is going to prevent them from over rotating, right? It's going to teach them how to slow their core down to stay through a baseball. Because, again, rotation is necessary. Elite rotational speed is necessary, but you have to be able to stop too, right? You have to be able to release that swing instead of just spinning. And so that's the type of constraint, or one example. But we also used like end-loaded bats, handle or knob-loaded bats, depending on a player. We used weighted bats for training bat speed. Like one of the buckets or groups of hitters that we were training were, guys that needed to improve their bat speed. So one reason why you also see guys that for Georgia Tech haven't always necessarily hit for power this year, like a Carson Curse or like Von Lackey hitting as many home runs he has, is that they're also always training bat speed. Like they're trying to improve bat speed. The biggest indicator of a batted ball being a base hit is its exit velocity, which is why everybody's obsessed with it, and rightfully so. But the biggest predictor of exit velocity is bat speed. So if you're improving bat speed, you're improving average exit velocity. You improve average exit velocity, they're going to have more hits. Okay, thank you for the insight. Yeah, no problem, dude. No problem. USC bunting with runners on first and second. Now they'll move them over to second and third with one out in the bottom of the fifth. And see, everyone, it's funny. You know, you get to postseason baseball in college, and now you're seeing a lot of teams bunting. And what's important, if you're going to give up an out to move runners up, is you need a guy in the box that's coming up to hit with the runners on second and third that can put the ball in play. Like, you cannot strike out here after giving up an out. Like, this ball has to be put in play. Depending on the defensive alignment, if the infield's back, I got to hit a ground ball up the middle. Infield's in. Obviously, I got to drive it over the infielder's head. And then also, you know, a deep fly ball works as well. So the goal in this at bat is I can take one pitch for a strike if it's not what I'm looking for. Once I get to 0-1, I always kind of change my approach in situations like this. Is I'm looking to be on time for a fastball, but I got to try to put a ball in play if it's in the zone. Because I don't want to get in a situation where if I swing and miss, I'm out. So I don't want to see big swings unless you're a guy, a really good hitter that has pop. I want to see a controlled swing that's trying to do damage, but I'm also really trying to make contact. Tennessee couldn't successfully bunt today. Probably not much game bunting through the year. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And that's why it's something that, you know, you can, I'll say it like this, like you can practice bunting all year off a machine, everything like that. But the reality is bunting in a game in a high pressure situation, you can't prepare somebody for that. I can tell you as a guy who was an elite bunter, when you got that sack bunt sign in a tie game in the eighth inning with runners on first and second, no outs, like there's a ton of pressure to get that bunt down. And you can't mimic that in a practice unless you're doing it in some kind of a competition where, like, if you don't get it down, the whole team's running, right? That's really the only kind of pressure you can put on a player. And that is something that Steve Tambora did, still does at Georgia Tech, I believe, where he would always have something once or twice a week called Make the Player Pay. And he would pick a player who was going to be depended on that year as a guy in the lineup or a pitcher that was going to be utilized in an important way and have them do an individual thing. And Man, USC just gets picked off second base with bases loaded and one out. Oh my gosh. Just caught sleeping at second base. That is massive. But anyway, you would have to, like, for example, I remember one drill he did, which was ridiculous. He set up, he gave our pitcher a tennis ball and taped a strike zone, 60 feet, 6 inches away, and had a mound and was like, all right, you got to, for every ball you throw, we're running a half lap, which is like, around the football field, halfway around the football field, at timed at a pretty quick pace. So 10 of them are pretty brutal. And it was a tennis ball. Like the guy had been throwing a baseball all fall. So of course, like the first 6 throws are straight into the ground. And we're like, dude, this isn't even mimicking a real thing. Like, we still give him crap about that one, because it was like, other ones were like an outfielder had to make 5 throws from the outfield, and every time he missed a cutoff, it was like 2 half laps or 4 half laps or something. And but that was a way of mimicking in-game big situation pressure, right? If you fail in that drill, your team's going to have to run. You're going to have to run. So there's pressure, because your teammates are going to be like, bro, are you kidding me? Northern Illinois has taken the lead against Coastal. Bases loaded, 1 out. Bases loaded, walk for Northern Illinois. Dude, this Tallahassee regional is not for the faint of heart. Northern Illinois now up 6-4, top 4, bases loaded, 1 out. Can you imagine if the winner's bracket game is Northern Illinois, and who beat Florida State? Who beat Florida State, guys? Why am I blanking on this? St. John's. How about the girl on Squeeze Play? Like, oh my gosh. Like, we're not having a mound visit. She's like, are we going to have a mound visit or something? Like, this seems like it's falling off the rails. And Rudy and Chris Burke are kind of like, don't dunk on the coaching staff. But yeah, this is not good for Coastal. Like, if your plan was to win this regional, you're set up to win it. Right? St. John's is in the winner's bracket game. Coastal feels like if we win this game, we're going to win the regional. Big situation here. 1-2 count for Northern Illinois. Definitely going to be a slider. Wow. Great pitch. Late strike 3 call. It looks down. Yeah. It looks down. It's a close pitch, but it's down. In college, that's going to get called. Well, Miami has put up 4 runs here in the bottom of the 3rd. So just like I said, like, Miami is going to feel a lot better about themselves if they get that 3 or 4 run lead here. Big at bat here for Northern Illinois. Like a base hit here really, really blows this game open a little bit. Like, you get to a 4-run lead, you feel pretty good. So this is a huge at bat for Northern Illinois. and they're going to make a Coastal's going to make a pitching change, bringing in the righty because Coastal realizes right the like if you're in the situation that Coastal's in, which is the 4 seed upset the 1 seed. You get to the winner's bracket game. You're facing a 4 seed that you should beat. You got to win this game. Like, you got to win this game. And so Coastal is going to play this super serious. They're only down by 2 runs. It's the 4th inning. You got plenty of time to score a couple runs. Tyler, quiet about Kentucky, huh? I'm not quiet about Kentucky. Kentucky found a way to win. They had 5 hits in the game. I would categorize it like this, Tyler. I would say more like Kentucky grind. Both teams did not look great. I don't know why Wake Forest catcher with a go-ahead run on third is, in a one-knee stance and trying to pick a breaking ball right in front of him. Again, that's a conversation for a different time. But I think overall, did Kentucky look great? Not really. They got the win. So they're in the winner's bracket game. I don't know why I got so much hate from all the Kentucky people. Like, did I think Kentucky should have been in the tournament? No. Do I think NC State should have been in the tournament? No. I do think Mercer should have been in the tournament over one of those teams. I do think Kentucky was more abhorrent because of their record in SEC play. I mean, 2-8 in series where you didn't play. I think they didn't play like 5 or 6 of the hosts in the SEC. And then against the bottom 4 teams, they went 0-4. So I just thought that resume in conference was so bad that no matter, even if their RPI was what it was, I just didn't think it made sense to have them in the tournament. Big hit for Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois, base hit single into center field. It's now 8-4 Northern Illinois. Really big inning here for Rob Evans. Troy with the runner on second. Your team just scored a bunch of runs. You got to throw up a 0 here, right? This is the shutdown inning. And the reason it's important is because when your team scores, when you go out there on defense, for some reason, the opposing team gets like a jolt of momentum. And they, a lot of times, will answer with a couple runs. So if you can shut them down here, now your team solidifies that momentum going forward into the game. So really big inning here for Rob Evans to try to throw up a 0 with the runner on second now with 1 out, just struck out. Rob Evans up 97, up and in on the lefty. Walker hooks for Ole Miss. A great base hit bunt attempt by Arizona State. Unfortunately, it hit the lip of the grass and went foul. But their pitcher, Walker Hooks, had to like dodge it and jump over it to make sure he didn't touch it while it was in fair territory because he was going to grab it. Oh, when the worst possible thing for Miami. Swinging bunt. It looked like Rob Evans was going to get it and probably get the out, even though I think it would have been close. Northern Illinois with another base hit. It's 10-4 Northern Illinois. And then Miami's catcher, I think, called him off. I think Miami could have said something about the bat being in play. No one's paying attention for Miami. The bat was in play right in front of the catcher. He kind of had to go around it. The bat was in play. Why is the catcher not saying anything? That bat was in play, man. And Coastal's got a big decision to make here after the next half inning. If they don't have a big inning to answer this Northern Illinois inning, now up 10-4, now the question goes to, okay, like, do we start saving our bullpen because the likelihood of us winning this game is getting pretty low? All right, Miami gets an out, so they just need one out to get out of this jam. Runners on first and third. Evans still pumping 96 in the fourth. He's only at 57 pitches, so he's doing a great job having quick innings. You know, right now he's averaging under 15 pitches per inning. Man, I don't know what it's like playing in Eugene, Oregon, but the fact that it's almost June and like everyone in the stands are wearing jackets, no thanks. Like I can't imagine wearing what these people are wearing to a Georgia Tech game right now. The guys on Squeeze Play are bringing up a good point. Like it's interesting. Like you compare what Coastal's done of late. Oh, and Troy gets a big hit to make it 4-1 with first and third. Soft. Like Coastal really hasn't performed well of late. Like they were in the hosting conversation really late in the season, and then just had some bad weekends, and all of a sudden, you know, they were out of the conversation. And very similar to Virginia, you know, halfway through ACC play, Virginia was talked about being potentially a national seed, and then they performed really bad in the second half, and you see that kind of continuing into the NCAA tournament. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for me tonight. Appreciate you guys joining in. Obviously, really long stream tonight because I was able to get on early. Um, but I will see you guys tomorrow. Obviously, we've got a lot of games. It's been great so far, day one. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll talk about results and, you know, potentially who's going to be winning a region.